Topic is radical. Namaste everyone. Today's topic is radical forgiveness. That book is with me for more than 10-15 years. I think I read this book and which changed my life. So before going to the forgiveness, many of us will say that I am a victim or somebody did something to me. How many of you think that way? Like somebody did something and I am holding like my sister's son. I was talking with him and I said, "You need to forgive them." He said, "No, I'm not going to." So, a lot of people they hold on to their grudges, their baggage with them, and they don't want to let it go. The first thing when we think of forgiveness is we think that we are going to accept whatever they did, other person did to us, we will accept. No, not that's not forgiveness. We don't need to tell them anything to them. It's only with us. So that is initial step. But this topic is bringing me different books, different authors. So I will try to stick with radical forgiveness, but I will bring in some other authors also who went in the same direction, but a different approaching the same guilt, how they shame or other things, how they handled it. So Kalpana, give me the permission. So this book, Radical Forgiveness, is written by Colin Tipping, and he is also no longer here now. He passed away maybe 4 5 years back. Um, so today I will give some introduction about the book and also talk about traditional and radical forgiveness. What is the difference? And in radical forgiveness, there are 5 stages. And there is a mirror principle here. Again, as soon as mirror is mentioned, I think of Louis Hay. So that's one author there. The other one is he gives you a worksheet how to work through it. So that is, I briefly mentioned that one, and then summary and practical applications. So this is a shift from victim to peace. When we are victims, we are burning. Basically, they says that if you are envy of, jealousy of, you hate somebody, or if I do that, I am carrying the poison. The other person is happy. He says something like I'm stupid. He might have said that, and he goes away. He sleeps happily. But who is burning here? Me. How can he say that? How can he say that? I hate him. All those things like a victim mentality will be there, and to get out of that, to come to peace, these are the tools. This is one of the tools which I love it. Radical forgiveness. And the traditional one, we always think that we are doing a favor for them by forgiving them. We call them villains. I am a victim and they are the villain. They did something to me. But in radical forgiveness, they says it's a shift from victim to our own thing, like how to get out of it. He always says they are doing a favor to me instead of they did something. So one concept he always says is they, instead of they doing to me, they did it for me. They, instead of doing to me, they did it for me. For the difference is, yeah, I can ask somebody to bring a book to me, that is for me. He did bringing the book for me. But if he throws that book at me, it is to me. He just pushed that thing to me. But otherwise, he did it to for me. I told him to bring it. Same thing in the spiritual realm. They says that it's nothing happened, wrong happened. It's a soul contract. That person is doing that for us. Initially, it will feel like, man, what is this thing? This is so wrong. But for our own growth, other people are doing it. And so I'm not just letting it go, I'm seeing it differently. That is the key phrase in the radical forgiveness. We are not letting go, we are not doing anything, we are not accepting other person's behavior, anything like that. But we are trying to see it differently. See, sometimes we have an issue with somebody, and we will have so many stories about it. But somebody will come back and says, You might have heard this story from Seven Habits. Mr. Yeah, Divya, you might know the author name, but he tells a story. In that one person was going in a bus, and there are one family of a dad and 4 or 5 children get into the bus, and they were doing a ruckus. They are not um, sitting at one place. They are throwing everywhere, everything. And dad was just silently sitting, and this guy was burning. He was saying, "Why can't he say, children, shut up or sit on your seats?" He's not telling. Why? What's going on? What's going? Finally, he got he boiled, and he can't control himself. He says, "Hello, what's going on? You are not telling anything to the other kids." Then the dad says, "Oh, just now we are coming from the hospital. Their mom passed away." The perception changed completely. We are seeing it differently, the situation. Before that, we are thinking, what kind of children are these things? What kind of dad is this? All those thoughts are going. But the minute you learn the truth that their mom passed away, you will click, you will say, "Oh, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, kids, come over. It's okay. Even if they step on you, you are okay." So that is what radical forgiveness is. See it differently. See everything differently. So there are two sides. Before I jump into radical forgiveness, other author came to my mind who is Jerry Jampolsky. He wrote a beautiful book called Love is Letting Go. So I want to just mention something from that book before and difference between these two before we go into radical forgiveness. So Jerry Jampolsky says he always says choose peace, and he always choose love instead of fear and judgment. This is the biggest one. We always try to judge people. We put into buckets. This guy is good, this guy is bad, this guy is slim, this guy is fat, this guy is wicked. So we want to fit people into the buckets, and we keep judging, which hurts us rather than them. So he says, I let go of my judgments because it hurts me. Whereas Colin Tipping says, I see the perfection in this. I thank you for playing this role so I could grow. So Colin Tipping always says we grow by following this principle of radical forgiveness, where we see it differently. I keep repeating that one. So synthesis, Jerry Jampolsky says psychology. He gives you psychology. Don't let fear rule you. Fear is the one which is ruling you. But Colin Tipping takes one step above, says spirituality. Everything works in favor of you. So the common things, back, yeah. So common thing is relinquishing the past. Both of them want you to get rid of the past by understanding differently. So Jampolsky says, look at in the fear, look at the fear and choose love. But the Tipping says soul level is set up. This is set up by the soul level. We are most of our meditators. We know the soul thing. So soul level, and it is in the past, seeing the past as a purposeful lesson. To If you look at that, it's a purposefully happened, then that evaporates. That's what Tipping says. As I mentioned, Jerry Jampolsky says love versus fear. Always he calls like we are fearful when somebody is did something. They are doing it because of fear. They are looking for love. Instead of expressing that I want your affection, they throw poison at you. So if you look at that as a request for love, then you don't feel that guilt. You don't feel the victim mentality. So he teaches how only two emotions, which is love and fear. Love is our natural state. We are always at love. And many people say that we are love, nothing but love, and give love to everyone. And he says fear is a call for help. So we judge others with choosing to see through the eyes of a fear. By seeing through the eyes of a fear, we are judging them. If you see through the eyes of love, you will not judge them. Whereas Tipping says victim consciousness, somebody doing something to me, and radical forgiveness bridges and moves us back to love where what Tipping calls is a universal perfection. One more comparison between the two comparisons I'll do between those two. Uh, Jampolsky teaches that someone is hurting us. They are either extending love or they are fearful, crying out of for love. Therefore, there is no reason to attack back. If you recognize that there is a call for love, there is no reason for us to attack back because it's uh, crying out for love. Whereas Tipping says he agrees with it and he adds metaphorical twist saying that the person attacking you is actually an angel doing the dirty work of triggering your wounds so you can finally heal those wounds. Whenever we say about the angel thing, if you um, jot down this book name as Little Angel, a small Little Angel in Sun's World or something like that, written by Neil Donald Walsh, which is a children's book. You can read, give it to even your children to read. Excellent book. In that one, he says the angel who are doing the dirty work, and we need to grow by seeing that way. And these are like two sides of the coin. One is Jampolsky says it's a mindset. I choose to see peace instead of this. That's what he says. I let go of my judgment because it hurts me. It hurts me, that's why I let go. Whereas the soul set is Tipping, it's on the presentation. I see the perfection in this. I thank you for playing this role so I could grow. That's what these two people do. So Jerry Jampolsky's love to letting go. I think that is the book he wrote. He is like grandpa, maybe in 90s or 80s he wrote that book. And Tipping wrote this book in 2001. So recent, kind of recently for us. So in radical forgiveness, there are 5 steps to go through. One is telling the story. Honor your victim story. We are not saying that you are not supposed to see as a god and other things, nothing like that. In the step one, you tell your victim story. That person did this thing, that. You put everything, write down or tell to the whoever is sitting with you, tell everything as it happened to you. That's what the telling story is. The first step is a human. We are at a human level. It's a victim story. You don't need it to be spiritual. Just to tell what happened, how much it is hurting, and radical forgiveness does not ask you to suppress your truth. It's your voice. Just voice whatever it is and find it to be heard and acknowledged. That is step one. Step two is feeling the feelings. Move to your body. Now it's verbally is complete or verbally or written, whatever is, it's complete. The second step is moving into the body. You cannot heal what you refuse to feel. We are feeling sadness, we are feeling anger, we are feeling depression. All these are feelings in the body. So if you are angry, feel the heat. Where is it? That heat is coming to you. If you are sad, feel the weight. Like people are saying, man, I am so heavy because of this sadness, like that. So feel that and intellectualize. We often try to intellectualize forgiveness to avoid the pain, but in this stage we stay with the emotion until it begins to move. Emotion is just energy in motion. That's what Tipping says. That is the second stage. The third stage is collapsing the story. Realize the story is just your interpretation of the facts. A lot of times, as I mentioned before, the story of that dad and children, it's my story. I am thinking that dad is not doing anything, children are throwing rackets and they are not doing this, and all that story I built it. So when we collapse the story, there is where this is where radical part begins. We look at our story and realize it is 10% facts and 90% interpretation. 10% is facts. The children are naughty, they are making noise, they're jumping all around. They might be facts. There's a 10% facts. But 90% interpretation where I am thinking they are bad children. Dad is not taking care of them. All these are my own story or anybody's story. We build that story. So the 90% interpretation. When we collapse all that narrative, they did not call, they did not, the story, they did not love me, all these things, if you see, we realize that story is what is causing the suffering, not the event itself. That's what the it says. The fourth one is reframing. Ask, what if this person is healing angel helping me to learn a lesson? If we say that one, then it will throw different thing. Reframe it. This is a turning point. We ask the brave question, what if this person actually healing the angel in disguise? We look for the divine perfection. Maybe their betrayal taught you how to stand on your own 2 feet. Maybe their coldness taught you how to love yourself. We reframe the person from villain to a partner in our soul's evolution. That's what he says. I will cover the fifth one also and then tell you the story there. And then integration. Finally, we integrate. We don't just think uh, this is a new thought. We breathe it in. This is where the shift becomes permanent. You realize that you don't need to forgive the person in the traditional sense, because you now see that experience was a gift designed for your highest good. You leave the room a different person than the one who entered the room. So to start off this book, he tells a story of his own sister, Jill. Jill's story. I strongly recommend everybody to read that story, but I will try to send it to Kalpana. In that one, he tells his sister is coming from London. His brother and himself moved to America. His brother moved to Australia 15 20 years back before this incident, something like that. So Jill, that Australia guy goes to see Jill in London, so or UK, and then he stays there for 1 year, 1 week, and then they both of them come to America, Atlanta, where Colin Tipping goes to receive Jill and the other brother, both of them there, and other brother will stay for a couple of days, and he goes back to Australia. That is the initial thought. So when they come, he senses that Colin Tipping senses that there is something wrong with his sister. She was married. Before with the previous husband, she has 3 children, and now she is married to another person who has 3 kids from previous marriage. That's how they met, and they are living happily for 5 years. But this time he sees something different in his sister. So he doesn't say anything. They go to the hotel, and finally he asks, "What's going on?" Then sister got says, "We are breaking up." He said, "What happened? You guys were happy." "No, we are breaking up. I hate him." He said, "What is going on? Tell me." And she starts telling the story. In that one, Jeff, I think Jeff or some other name. Let's take Jill's husband name is Jeff. Jeff has 3 kids, and one of the kid is they're all grown up kids, not even the small things. That the eldest daughter is Lorraine, and she got married already, and her husband passed away in a car accident. So she moved back with her dad, and they two were talking all the time, and they're hushing there. So starts feeling that he's ignoring her because of his daughter, and she becomes jealous about it. She burns with that thing, like this guy is not caring about me. He's so much into his daughter. It's pathetic. It's ridiculous. Why daughter and dad are so much hush hush and talking so long in the room and other things. So she was feeling. She throws all that stuff. Radical Tipping patiently listens to it for the first day. Second day he says, "Can I ask you something?" And she says, "What? You always say something. What is it?" And he says, "Can we see it in a different way?" She gets surprised. "What do you mean by different way?" And he says, uh, "I want to give you a different interpretation." And he starts telling, "Okay, this drama is going on. How do you feel?" And she says, I feel bad. I'm bitter. All that stuff comes up. And then slowly he asked, beautiful questions are there. I didn't capture them in my notes. So he asked, "Did you feel same thing before? Anytime?" Oh, she was stunned, and she says, "What do you mean by that?" And then she thinks, and then suddenly she says, "Yes, with the dad and your daughter." So this time Colin Tipping gets surprised. "What is it? What is it with my dad, my daughter and dad?" So she starts telling, "When I was a small kid, Dad was not loving me. He doesn't allow me to sit on his lap, or he doesn't take me to walk, all those things. So I used to feel so bad that something wrong with me. That's why dad is not showing affection, love, or anything to me. But mom told me that that is dad always. Dad doesn't do any of that stuff. He doesn't do it with me. Why? Don't expect that thing. So she made peace with about it. Okay, dad is like that. He doesn't love anybody and other things. Everything happened, and she got married. She got kids. Still same thing. She has. She it didn't bother for her nothing, and his dad also didn't do anything. But when Colin got married, and he had a first kid, which is Lorraine, at 5 years, yeah, incidentally or coincidentally, or we call Sai incidentally, Colin's daughter's name is Lorraine, and Jeff's daughter's name is also Lorraine, who lost her husband. So that is the girl with dad. So Lorraine is here. So she says when Lorraine came, she took dad's like a grandpa's hand and says, "Come, let me show you my garden." And with a hand, she tugged him and took him, and they were spent so much time. Lorraine was watching. No, Jill was watching from the window how the 5 year kid and the grandpa are spending time and everything. When they came in, uh, the Lorraine 5 year old kid sat in the grandpa's lap and everything. Then suddenly it hit her that, oh God, dad can love people. So it must be something wrong with me. That's why he didn't show it to me. So that pain started in her at that time also when um, this was a long time back. So afterwards, she had for 3 or 4 kids from another person, and he asked, "Why did you leave your first husband?" Oh, he was always looking at my friends, and he tried to woo them and other things. That's why I got fed up with him. So I left him. He says, "He is doing that for you again." What? She asked, "What do you mean by that?" He is also helping you to realize your pain. She said, I don't understand that. So the same thing now when Jeff and his daughter Lorraine is doing, she again felt that pain. So that's what he asked and put through this sheet and everything. And he says, you don't need to say anything to Jeff. Nothing will happen. You are accepting it, whatever happened, and releasing that pain, and everything will change. She said, how? What do you mean by that? Yes, that is what happens with the process. It's all energy. We are all connected in the universe. If you do something here, everything will change other places immediately. So she goes back, and she was so fearful, or kind of like we don't know what will happen. So we know something, but we don't want to share. And you go there, you are anxious to see what happens. So he goes to the airport, and Jeff comes and picks her up, and she did feel something different in Jeff, but don't know much. She also doesn't say anything. And 2 weeks gone by, and Jeff was acting normal. There is not much going on between him and his daughter and everything. After 2 weeks, one day they will say suddenly, I lost a friend, Jeff. She says, I lost a friend who was with me for 5 years. I lost. He says, me too. But however, something happened to you after you went to US and came back. There is some difference. What happened? She says, you don't need to trust anything. That's what Colin also tells to her. Don't trust the process. Don't believe in it. Just go through it. That's all you need to do. So that's what they do, and she shares everything, and then they feel that, and then they're happily living. Even when he wrote the book, like after 10 years, they allowed him to publish the story. They're still living together. So that's what the radical forgiveness is. There is another story. Okay, I have 4 more minutes. There is another story. Let me finish this one. In this one, mirror principle is another beautiful one. He says, the people who trigger us are often our mirrors. So even Satsai Baba says, or some other, a lot of people say same thing. If you spot it, you have it. So if I don't know the color of blue, I don't see the blue color there. You might have heard about native Indians in America. When the ships come, they can't see the ship. They saw only people coming into the land, but they didn't see the mast, or they didn't either see the ship, because then it's not in their vocabulary or in their imagination. The same thing, if we are spotting something wrong, that means that is inside me. That's what they say, mirror. There, it is mirroring me. So someone's behavior angers you, they might be reflecting a part of yourself you have suppressed or judged. Shadow. There is a shadow theorem. Another book on shadow also there. The shift, instead of blaming the person, thank the mirror for showing you where you still need to heal. It's a similar to like, if you look at your mirror and you see a spot on the face, you don't wipe the mirror, you wipe your face, unless it is on the mirror. You wipe your face, oh, there is something sticking to my mouth or my cheek, so you clean yourself. The same way you thank the, because of the mirror you are able to see. That's what he is saying, that instead of blaming the mirror, heal yourself. And the radical forgiveness is 21 step worksheet, and simply do the thing. It guides you from mind, the mind from I am a victim to I see the perfection in this situation. That's how it works. And you don't have to believe it at first, you just have to be willing to see it differently. Holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. I told you in the beginning itself, we are holding the poison by holding the resentment. Self forgiveness, we are often our own harshest judges. This is another one. We are the worst critics of ourselves. We judge, which came in the four agreements also. Same thing they says. We critic ourselves a lot. So four agreements. A lot of books they converge together. If you, that's why Patriji mentions to read, read, read. Because of that only. When you read, you will see the puzzle pieces falling into pieces. So identify one person who has touched your life through a difficult lesson. Can you see an angel in them today? So that is what this thing is. Another story Colin Tipping says in the book, um, is one lady who divorced her husband. Let me- Okay. She divorces her husband, and she comes to the Colin Tipping saying that for help. So he normally talks and everything, then finally asks, and she was diagnosed with brain tumor. So he was talking everything, and later on, Colin Tipping casually asked, "What did you do with your ex-husband's stuff?" And she says she packed everything and put it in the attic. That means uh, attic. This is attic. So she put it everything there. So Colin Tipping asked her, said, "Bring it here. We will burn it." And she said she never comes back, because we don't want to let go. Letting go is the biggest thing. All these things we are holding. Like when my mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in Andhra, Telugu people, they says, um, when somebody suppresses their pain, they says she hid the pain in her stomach, which matches with. I was puzzled, like I was amazed when my mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, because she was suppressing. We don't know how to release. Nobody tells us how to release. So these are the books which will help a lot of people. So finally, what I say is, reframing exactly what Wayne Dyer meant when he said, when you change the way you look at things, the things look at the things you look at will change. And finally, is this is like Patriji also says, the world is you. The world is you are. That to change the world, we start with a reflection in the mirror, which is me. So we need to change ourselves to change the world. And one more author is Byron Katie. If you look at her work, is also a beautiful work she does, and she also puts only 4 questions. Oh, one more I kept it open. Let me share that one. Yeah, Byron Katie also says same thing. Is it true? Can you absolutely know it? Is it true? How do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? Who would you be without that thought? This is the biggest thing. If we think that I am not stupid, what if somebody said stupid? If the thought is not there, who I will be? That is the biggest thing, and I'm also not sure whether it is true or not. But if it is yes, come to here. If not, also same places you are going. And then she turns it the thought around, and that's how she does it. Byron Katie, you can look at her videos online. Byron Katie, Katie. She's another great soul. Um, you will love her work also. It, the Her work is called as a work only. So these are the things. So thank you. I don't know whether I covered everything or not, but thank you very much.
So you are trying to put everything in that time frame. That is the tough part. You covered a lot of things and not one book. You have covered so many books names. I'm like, okay, okay. So thank you,
Because
sir. Thank you.
everything coming like bombarding, like uh, speak about me. So
Yes, it's very difficult, sir. But such a wonderful topic, and um, that's exactly what happens. Okay, let me share.